If you clicked on this video, I don't think I'd explain to you what Five Nights at Freddy's is. FNAF is now a well-known, multi-million, multi-medium franchise. But about 10 years ago, in August of 2014, it was all just one simple indie game. The first Five Nights at Freddy's was what started it all. In this 10th year anniversary special, I came back to the original game to assess it, to see what made people so fascinated towards it in the first place, and if it really was as good as they say. Well yeah, here we go, we're gonna play the game. So the first thing about this game that I have since forgotten, since the first time I played it back in 2016, is that it is actually pretty scary. I completely forgot about it. I thought that since I already knew about what's gonna happen even though I haven't played it since 2016, I have seen someone else play it about 2 years ago. So I have the memory right? So I thought I was gonna be scared, but honestly, I kind of was scared when I first came in. It's like when you play the game, they immediately thrust you into this strange environment full of hanging wires, cobwebs. The whole room is just so unnerving. It's claustrophobic, it's abandoned, and most importantly, there are huge gaping holes in either side of the room, which makes you feel vulnerable. So somehow you're claustrophobic, but also open at the same time. The sound design in this game is also much better than I remember as well. Of course, the most obvious noises are coming from the fan.
They'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit.
But if you can kind of look past that, there are also some weird ambient noises. It's creepy, and I never thought about how much that contributes to the game itself. Maybe it was silent, it would have been more scary, I don't know. But there is something brilliant about the sound design in the office. Besides the ambience, there's also the noise of the music that comes on every now and then. I don't know what's going on with that, but I love the chaotic energy of it. Like, it's supposed to sound soothing, but in reality, it actually makes you more nervous. I think you get what I'm saying, right? The inclusion of the metal doors are also interesting because it implies that regular doors, just for whatever reason, didn't cut it. Like, they needed these energy-dependent metal sliding doors to protect the office. They couldn't have went with a cheaper option that doesn't need energy or anything. No, they just had to use these strong metal doors. I guess since that's for security reasons, makes you wonder what happened before you went in that office. Well, you're about to find out. Point is, this game is incredibly good at capturing your attention due to the fact that there's so much going on in such a small space. It gets you going a little bit. It's like, what is all this? Like, you don't know the lore. Like, when this first game was released, people didn't know what was going on with the lore or whatever, what era is set in. And you look at this and think, what are these designs? Is this like cyberpunk or something? Again, there's so much left to interpretation. Only thing we have is the phone guy. There's a little bit of a lore you get from the phone guy when you first come in, but other than that, you kind of are left to interpret everything to yourself. Like, you don't really know why the animatronics move. You don't really know why they want to come into your office. You don't know why there's cobwebs everywhere. You don't know why sometimes the posters change. Anything happens, really. You don't know why you need those doors. Even though this game is 2D and is a point-and-click game, the cameras give you a really wide perspective of the building and the environment around you. It makes the world really bigger than it actually is. Like, the game itself is actually just you in that one room. Cameras really widen your scope. You feel this sense of scale that doesn't actually exist. I thought of Scott Cawthon's decision to make the animatronics stand still in every camera, and I thought that was always because, well, maybe it's too lazy to animate it. Honestly, I don't think it was the wrong choice. It adds to the game a lot, and it kind of reinforced the idea that these things are mysterious. You don't know why they're moving around or want to kill you, but like, these are mechanical, soulless objects that have no regard for your well-being. You can't reason with them. It almost just tells you, well, you're hopeless against these things. You cannot fight back. You can only block. I think the game is scary because of the surprises it gives you. I mean, of course, the first time it happens, it does kind of wear its novelty after that. But, I mean, I don't know how many times I'm going to play Five Nights at Freddy's anyways. Basically, yeah, the Foxy got me. Genuinely pretty scary. I can run really fast. Like, these characters don't normally move, but when you see this guy running in the hallway, it's like, you don't have time to react. And it's pretty scary too. Like, look at that thing. This game gives you a set of surprises, and the Foxy one really got me. When you see him move just like that, running the camera, something you don't expect to see. Like, the jump scare itself is not the scary thing. That it was the running. Like, when I first played this, that was probably the scariest part. Do you know what Markiplier's gameplay of this game is so perfect? He experienced it all. He experienced the Foxy running and jump scaring. He experienced the Golden Freddy anomaly. He saw the Freddy jump scare from the side. He saw the power outage in the Freddy music box sequence. And of course, the buttons, the dang buttons. He saw it all in his first series. Like, and him reacting to all that is very funny. And that's why these Let's Plays are so popular. Like, once you see one person do it, you're gonna want to see other people, how other people react to all the same things. Because when I first watched this series, when I first played the games, I genuinely wasn't expecting any of these things. The fact that they don't move around in the cameras, and every time they move, the camera blurs. It even adds more to the mystery of, what's gonna happen once they get you. You don't know. Well, that is until Foxy comes in and says, screw you. In conclusion, the surprises the game gives you, the sound design, the look of the office itself, everything, the atmosphere, everything adds up to make this game's first impression very scary. The gameplay itself at its core is brilliant. You have to close doors when the animatronics show up. You have to keep eyes on the cameras. You have to turn the lights on to see if there are people there. But all that uses energy, so don't do it all the time. You can't keep the doors closed all the time. It's not possible. You can't look at the cameras all the time. So it's a balancing act. There isn't really a second you can rest. You lay eyes for too long, just a little bit too long, and then this happens. There is no room to rest in FNAF. Just get distracted or relax for a little bit too long, and then this happens. The problem is, of course, all this novelty wears off after the first few nights. Like, I think with the fourth night was the first time I failed. Before that, I actually did pretty good. Like, the power was plentiful. But, after experiencing jump scares a couple times, it's not that scary anymore. Now I'm just worried about getting through the game. Like, I'm just hyper focused. And I think Scott realized this too, that 7 nights, roughly the same gameplay, is gonna feel boring after a while, even if it is, increasing difficulty, but it's in the same environment, it's in the same room, same mechanics, everything. So I think he put the 2020 mode just so it can be like, hey, you didn't feel accomplished enough playing this game. How about I give you something that truly makes you feel like you've accomplished something. Yeah, halfway through, it does wear its novelty off as a horror game, but it does make it a bad game. It's still pretty neat. It's a good enough game, interesting enough game. Why was it so big though? If it was just okay. I mean, this is just my opinion, obviously, but what was so impressive about the game? I thought about it for a while, and then it's just that simply this game is new. Like, no one has ever seen a game like FNAF before, at least not to this popularity. FNAF did a couple things. You got unique mechanics, the security camera, the doors, and you add those unique mechanics with the animatronics environment thing. Like, it's a kid's place, so there's like so you get a unique variety of colorful characters you can attach to that you're also escaping from. But on top of the unique characters and mechanics, you got the lore, and of course we all know about the lore of FNAF. Well, actually no, I don't. Like, after 10 years the lore has devolved so far. Like, I keep hearing words like Afton, Glamrock, Remnant, just a bunch of made up words. I don't know any of that nonsense. But I think the fact that the first game was so vague about its lore captivated people a ton. There was a bite that one time, or it leaves you thinking about the game outside when you're actually playing the game. With FNAF, be where it be today without the lore, and if the lore was just, just out and clear and about, it still would have been interesting, but it wouldn't get people talking about it. It wouldn't get people, like, making 80 videos discussing the lore of Freddy's. It's so different compared to what it is now. Like, it's almost impossible to think that all of this evolved from just this. And you never know how much a single neat concept can give birth to an entire idea, genre of idea. Truly unique experience, Five Nights at Freddy's. I think those early days of FNAF will truly be magical for many years to come, of how much creativity this simple game inspired. Anyway, that's it. Happy 10th anniversary to FNAF. I wish you more success. Thank you for watching.
Toreador, et so je bien oui son